Temperatures are crashing, winds are starting to crank up, and the snow is starting to fall. We're breaking down the busy forecast ahead for tonight, coming up.
We're also keeping an eye on road conditions here in central Kentucky. WKYT's Matthew Rand will join us with a live update in Lexington.
WKYT News starts now with First Alert Weather.
Good evening. We're dealing with a monster of a winter storm in Kentucky right now. That's why we've declared a first alert severe weather day. You can see it all on that radar behind me. All of that rain we saw today, it's starting to freeze. We're bringing you first alert weather team coverage tonight. Let's start things off with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey and Chris Johnson.
Yep, here we go with this winter storm that's to crank up across parts of the bluegrass area and north especially. Get you caught up on the current advisories and warnings. That's a winter weather advisory for most of central and eastern Kentucky. Areas in the pink, this is a full-blown winter storm warning that is out. Northern Kentucky, that includes Grant County, includes Owen County, back over toward the Louisville Metro, and then southwest we go into Owensboro. That is the area that is getting hammered right now by a band of moderate to occasionally heavy snow. That's going to slowly inch its way toward the south and southeast. That temperature crash is right on top of us. Now leading the charge, or that transition zone between the rain and the snow, you've got a little bit of frozen precipitation, some sleet, and a touch of some freezing rain that may put a little glaze on everything. And that temperature trend is dropping below freezing in a lot of areas of the bluegrass as we speak. So that's going to mean all that water we had earlier in the day is just going to ice things up very, very quickly. Here's that other Kentucky. Notice the bluegrass area, we're kind of in between that rain system that is pulling off to our east and the snow that is working into our west. You got snow-covered roads already across many areas of the Louisville Metro, and that'll continue to work its way on in from west to east. So down Interstate 65 toward E-Town, the BG Parkway dealing with some snow that is beginning now to kick up. This goes all the way into parts of northern Tennessee as of now. That backlash snow that is working around that low pressure that is pushing out of eastern Kentucky now. So as that band of snow works on in, it is also coming in with colder temperatures. We're dropping it below freezing now into the bluegrass area. Look at Covington, 24 degrees, yet it is 53 in Jackson still across southeastern Kentucky. So you've basically got a 30-degree temperature spread from one side of this system to the other. Those 20s making for icy travel conditions. And here's the setup tonight, early tomorrow. It doesn't matter if you get a half inch of snow or if you get several inches of snow. The roads are going to become very, very slick because you got all that water that is out there from the earlier rains, crashing temperatures. So even a low to medium snow event tonight can cause some major impacts on roads first thing tomorrow morning. And then obviously you will likely have church delays and cancellations as you go through tomorrow. Let's hit the fast forward button on the future radar. Midnight. Here's that band of snow across parts of central Kentucky. We'll go through 1 a.m. working through the bluegrass area. Now this isn't going to snow very long. You're not going to get a lot of snow out of this in terms of the overall depth, but it's a high impact snow event. So again, half inch to upwards of several inches into parts of north central Kentucky, a possibility. High impact travel event as we get rid of that system fairly early tomorrow, but Arctic cold temperatures in the teens. This storm already dumping a lot of snow into parts of western Kentucky, southern Indiana, southern Illinois. Meteorologist Chris Johnson joining me now. And Chris, a lot of reports coming out to our west of some big issues already, buddy.
Yeah, already seeing a lot of issues, and we're getting a ton of reports on Twitter. Of course, folks starting to see some snow-covered roads across northern parts of Kentucky. We got temperatures rapidly. That transition zone that continues to set up across parts of central, working into northeastern Kentucky. And behind it, like you said, it's that colder air that's rushing in behind, and of course, heavy snowfall taking over. 1 to 2 inch snow rates per hour, if I could get that out. That's the kind of snow we're talking about, and we continue to get a lot of reports rolling in. Folks there in Franklin County right now switching over to all snow, temperatures dropping below freezing, and we're seeing more reports of that. Heavy sleet just north of Toyota for folks there in Scott County, there in Georgetown. And it looks like the reports continue to come in as far as the sleet is concerned, and it looks like that transition eventually to some snowfall takes over as we head deeper into tonight. Now, with that, we're going to see some accumulating snowfall eventually take over, and that's what we're going to break down hour by hour. We'll take a look at that and some of the overall snow totals when it's all said and done by tomorrow morning. We get into Sunday afternoon. Folks, it is going to be really, really cold out there. So a busy forecast ahead. We're going to break it all down for you here coming up in just a bit.
Thank you. And as they mentioned, a huge concern tonight are those road conditions. Crews have been out for a couple of hours now. They're trying to make sure the roads are safe, but it is a challenge. WKYT's Matthew Rand joins us live from Lexington for an update. Matthew, what do things look like right now?
Angela, still a little rain falling here, but what has really fallen over the past few hours is the temperature. There is a cold wind that has been blowing here, just really chills you right to the bone. I'm here in the Hamburg area in Lexington. You can see behind me, traffic still moving along pretty well here. Not a lot of issues to report, but of course, as the night wears on, do expect those roads to become slick. Now, we did talk to some drivers just a short while ago about how they were doing out there on the roads and how those drivers were preparing for winter's worst.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day as we track a winter storm across the region. We picked up the rain aspect of this storm earlier in the day. A good 1 to 2 inches, some local flooding across parts of southern and southeastern Kentucky. We're saying goodbye to that. Hello to crashing temperatures and now some frozen precipitation. This is not a ton of snow for many folks, but it's a winter weather advisory that is out for all the counties that are shaded in blue. Winter storm warning for areas to our north and west that are into the pink. That's the area that is currently under this band of moderate to occasionally heavier snows. And across the bluegrass area, this will begin to fill in fairly quickly as that band works its way on in. Now, eastern Kentucky, you still got some heavy rain, so we'll keep an eye on some of those creeks and streams over the next little bit. Defender up close and personal, snow covering the ground across many areas now of northern Kentucky. That snow line is sinking its way toward the south and southeast. What you've got out ahead of this is just a touch of some frozen precipitation, a little freezing rain, and a little bit of sleet into the bluegrass. You don't want to stay freezing rain for too long. And this snow system that is working on in, it's not like it's going to snow the entire night. You're going to have about a 2 to 4 hour window where it can put down some decent accumulations into parts of central and northern Kentucky especially. Just like we've been talking about, the farther south and southeast you go, your totals are going to be way, way down. But it doesn't matter in a setup like this, whether you get a ½ inch, whether you get 3, 4, or 5 inches into parts of northern Kentucky. You're going to be talking about slick travel because of all that water from earlier freezing with those temperatures that are going below freezing. Snow covering the ground here into parts of western Kentucky. We've picked up several inches in southern sections of Indiana, western parts of Kentucky, and that whole snow band is working its way toward the east. You can see how it's kind of wrapping around that area of low pressure. Remember, everything goes counterclockwise around the low, so that's why those temperatures into southeastern Kentucky are still in the 50s, but the 20s are showing up, and later tonight the teens show up into parts of central and eastern Kentucky. So again, not a ton of snow, but just a little bit or a few to several inches into northern Kentucky can cause similar issues because of the icy conditions on the roads. Temperatures in the teens and low 20s. Everything's going to ice up. A little skating rink tonight. And then you've got the high impact on the roads late tonight, early tomorrow. That'll be the main threat that we are focusing on, Chris, overnight and early tomorrow morning for those slick travel conditions. Again, buddy, as you know, doesn't matter if you get a ½ inch or an inch or you get several inches, the roads are going to be awfully icy.
And that's something we have to keep a close eye on as we head through tonight, especially folks waking up tomorrow morning. And you were talking about the situation with the low. It's now beginning to push across parts of eastern Kentucky. You can see those winds now beginning to crash in from the northwest, and it's still pretty windy out there. We're talking sustained winds upwards to 25 miles per hour in spots. And look at what the winds are ushering in. Temperatures dropping now into the upper 20s. Louisville, E-Town, 33, Glasgow, 33 here in Lexington, so close to that freezing mark. Low 50s still to our south and east. So let's break it down. The latest hour-by-hour forecast, and you can see temperatures to your Sunday morning. That light to moderate snowfall continues across parts of central, southern, and eventually eastern Kentucky as we head into the early morning hours for your Sunday. And look at those temperatures dropping into the teens in many spots. That's certainly going to allow for some issues to show up on the roadways, turning things pretty icy out there. By Sunday late morning, we begin to wrap things up with the snow. A few snow flurries will linger into your Sunday afternoon, and high temperatures only reaching the upper teens and low 20s. Remember, the winds out there still will be breezy at times, and that's certainly going to add a bite to that that temperature, that feel out there, those wind chills will be very, very cold. We'll talk about that here in just a moment. But look at the temperatures into Sunday night. You get a little bit of a snowpack on the ground, temperatures in spots dropping into the single digits. Very, very cold night in store for Sunday night. Here's a look at the updated call for snowfall. Like Chris was saying, to our south and southeast, it's the lower snow amounts for folks across far northern parts of Kentucky to our northwest, and are running for those higher snow totals here in Lexington still, and are running for about 1 upwards to 3 inches, maybe some higher amounts. That's a possibility, especially with that snow band beginning to track eastward. As far as the wind chills are concerned, this is what I was talking about, that bite to the air. How about sub-zero wind chill readings early tomorrow morning? Here's the kicker. That doesn't really change as we get into your Sunday afternoon. Near zero, sub-zero wind chills through Sunday afternoon. We're back at it once again as we get into Monday night, Sunday night into Monday morning. So temperature-wise, remaining very, very cold out there for the next couple of days. That is frigid air, and of course the coldest air we've had so far this season. But look at this, temperatures rebounding once we get into closer to midweek. Mid-40s taking over for highs. We track in another system that brings some rain to snow chances Wednesday into Thursday. Chris is going to be here, so he's going to take care of you there. We track in another system into next weekend that brings potentially more snow chances. So Chris has been talking about it a lot.
Yeah.
I've mentioned it. Over the next couple weeks, it looks very, very active and very cold at that. So you could be seeing more of me and Chris on the weekends for the next couple weeks.
Well, you know it's a big deal when you have Chris and Chris here. It's a treat, really, for all of us. One thing that it's cold weather, one thing that could warm some UK fans' hearts, that game.
Absolutely.
All right, let's have Alex talk about it.